So throughout my career, I've been involved in a lot of talks and classes and courses about teams and how to make a team function properly and the phases or stages that a team goes through. And we've all heard them. It's, you know, formation or whatever, storming, norming, performing, all of that nonsense. And I realized that one of the things that I was never taught, or a course I've never been in, is the stages that you go through as a person on your way to achieving your goal, on the way to success. And I think this is important because, at least for me, if I don't know where I'm at in the process, I'm not sure what to do next, and I'm not sure which pitfalls are in front of me that I need to avoid. And I've definitely fallen in those pitfalls. I've fallen in every hole. I've done everything wrong, post achievement, before achievement, and everything in between. So I jotted down some notes. This is not like a doctor or anybody telling you the stages of your journey or whatever. This is just me jotting down some notes and talking through my personal process and how I got to where I am. So first stage is dissatisfied or the problem statement, right? What's the problem? The problem is I'm unhappy with my life. What do I need to do? So then the searching phase. And the searching phase can be weird because it's also a little bit of a self-awareness, self-discovery phase, as I tried to figure out what I value. I mean, I obviously didn't value the things I was doing, working multiple jobs and going to a college I didn't want to go to. Nothing against those things, but it just wasn't filling the void that, I was searching for an answer to. So after searching was discovery, right? Discovery was not just the Air Force for me, but also the special operations community within the Air Force. And that was the solution to my problems. Whatever it was, it's like falling in love. When you know type thing. And that sounds hokey, but that's how it was. I got the briefing from the dudes with the funny hats and I was like, boom, I am in. I'm never going to question this decision. Not never, but I never unmade my mind, if that makes sense. Next stage is something that we're all going to be very familiar with, is motivation. And one of the things we talk about with motivation is it's always, it can be short term. It's not always there. It's not the 100% solution to everything. You might wake up one day super motivated, and then the next day, not so much. So we need to leverage that motivation stage to get to the next stage that I wrote down is dedication. And I think this is where the real magic happens, because dedication is where you don't care about whether you're motivated, how good you feel, whether or not anybody else is doing it with you. You're dedicated to the process to achieve your goals. And that was actually, looking back, one of the best moments of my life. A little lonely, I guess, because I just disappeared off the map and did what I needed to do. But there was a lot of growth in the dedication phase. And then the achievement phase, right? So you're dedicated, you put in all the hard work. The dedication and the hard work kind of go hand in hand, because how can you say you're dedicated without the hard work? And then like that first level of achievement phase where, you get your beret or you knock out your first deployment, but you start to feel that void that you were searching to fill in the beginning. So scratching that itch, whatever you want to call it. And so all that kind of culminates in the achievement phase. And then the recognition phase. And this is where things start to get dangerous, is if the people around you start telling you that you're doing a good job. And worst of all, if you start to believe that you're doing a good job and you let that go to your head, and it can lead to some terrible outcomes. And then after that is the most dangerous stage, is the satisfaction or comfort stage. And I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to sit back and relax a little bit after you've achieved a big goal and enjoy it a little bit. But if you stay in that satisfaction, satisfied or comfort stage for too long, that's riddled with all the traps, all the potholes that you can fall into, because you'll realize after a while, if you sit in that stage and you get comfortable, that you're not progressing anymore, and that you fall back to step number one, is the dissatisfied or problem stage, where there's no process, there's no goal in your life that you're searching for. And I think everybody that ends up in this community, that's one of the things that we have in common, is we want to get after something. We like solving problems. We want to go to the next level of something, but it's easy to fall into that trap and just do your day-to-day thing, and then end up not where you want to be, not in the shape that you want to be, not at the skill level you want to be anymore, because you got a little bit complacent and you let it go to your head. And so to bypass that dissatisfied stage and starting all over from the top, I think it's good for us to be able to put words to what what we're going through in the moment. And this is something that I lacked for a long time is recognizing where I was. I remember I got to a particular duty assignment. I wasn't with a team anymore, or at least not with the team that I wanted to be with. And I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. I'd been leaning on my team a little bit too much to fill the gaps for me and tell me what to do. And then when I was back on my own, I got a little lost. So if you can recognize where you are at in your process, and whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, then you can skip some of these. So you can go from like the satisfaction, comfort, right back to either discovery, solution, or if you already have the next one lined up, right after you're done with that, boom, motivation, dedication, achievement, and just start that process over again. And I find that the happiest moments in my life, not the happiest moments, but the best, like, overall long span periods in my life that I've been the happiest is when I have that next thing lined up already. So I don't fall into that comfort trap, the satisfaction trap, the feeling good about myself for too long, which leads me inevitably back to step one, dissatisfied, and there's a problem, and then I got to search all over again. And the searching part is more difficult if you're like, you let yourself into that dark, dissatisfied, having a problem mindset, because I think it's much easier to find the next thing that you want to get after while you're still, kind of riding the high from that achievement. And you need to just always be looking for the next thing. So I know we talk about all the time, always looking for the next thing, not getting complacent, all those other things. But I tried to put words to it, what it felt like I went through in a couple of these situations to, so you can bypass going through, the same things, so that you can recognize where you're at, just like in a team formation, right? If we're forming a team, we know what stage we're in when we all start fighting with each other. Now, whatever stages you go through on your way to, getting what you want, achieving what you want, maybe start writing those things down so that when you get to a certain stage, you realize the danger that you're in and you can get back to it and achieve the next goal.